Chapter 11 in CIST 1510, we're going to look at for our discussion the Analyze, Correct, and Improve section here for improving our SEO for a web page. So a couple things we're going to do in here is we're going to add a page title, some meta descriptions, heading elements. We'll work with our image files and changing the names and adding alt tags as though we need to be improved as well. A couple things, make sure that you're first on your instructions tab, not your task tab. The task tab is going to tell you the things that are going to be graded. The instruction tab is going to give you the code and the steps that you need to grade some of these things. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to, in our index and our styles, we're going to put our student name, the file name, the date, in both the index and the styles, and I've already done this. And then also we're going to create a link to our CSS. So I've already pre-done this. We'll see that on our website, how it looks now. We will be making some changes to this as well. First of all, our title, this is something that needs to be related to the page. So in this case, we're looking for search engine optimization is going to be the title of our page. So we're going to just name the title SEO. We're going to do a quick check on that. We'll see that when we refresh this page, now we have the title of SEO here. All right, so next we're going to add a meta attribute, or excuse me, a meta tag with a name attribute that's going to be set to description. Then we're going to add an appropriate description for the meta tag. So looking at this, we're going to start off with, say I'm going to add this after this meta. Now I'm going to expand this so we can see the code a little bit better. So we've got a meta tag set. The name is set to description. And the content in here is going to have search engine optimization. That's going to include the use of descriptive titles, descriptive meta tags, the use of heading elements, descriptive file image names, or image file names, and then submitting a sitemap to search engines. So these are things that we're going to use to describe what's going on our page. So we're going to check through this and it passes. All right, so next we're going to make sure for our SEO to use the appropriate tags. All right, so we have a couple paragraph elements in here that should be updated to H1, H2. When you look at your HTML code, you'll see the area that this should be popping out at. We see here, example, we got 3 different paragraph tags. All right, so you can look at this and see that the search engine optimization isn't really a heading. This should be classified as a heading 1. This is a subheading, so it should be a heading 2. And we can look at this here and say that really is a paragraph. Okay, that is paragraph text, so we don't need to change that. So let's change the heading 1s and the heading 2 to the appropriate ones. And we'll run the check on this. It's passed. We'll do an update. See that now we have heading 1 and heading 2 listed here on the web page. So it gives our web page a better view, a little better formatting on this as well. All right, so the next thing we'll look at is inside our image folders. So in here we're going to look at the image file names. We're going to modify those to be descriptive of what is actually happening in the web page or in the image. And then we need to update our code in our HTML. So we'll look at our images here. We've got image 1, 2, and 3. Image 1 is a website plan. Image 2 and image 3 you're not going to be able to see inside of this, but we can look at the page and see that image 2 is going to be our Facebook logo and image 3 will be our Twitter logo. So to rename those, we'll come to our file actions and come down to rename file. Okay, so the first one we're going to rename this website plan. Image 2 will be renamed Facebook logo. Image 3, I'm going to rename Twitter, but I'm going to intentionally do something different with this. I'm going to capitalize the word Twitter, and you will see why I do this in just a second. So now that I've done this, there's not a check mark for this. So this is just something I need to do to move on to the next step. So I'm going to close these images and go back to our index. So in here, I need to update these file names. Okay, so for image 1, this was website plan. Image 2 was Facebook logo. And image 3 was Twitter logo. Now remember, I did capitalize Twitter when I saved it. So when I reload this web page, see that this logo is now broken down here, okay, because the file names do not match. So because I need to make these match, make sure that you have the capitalization the same, regardless if it's capital letters or lowercase letters. Generally, you want to use lowercase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename the file again to a lowercase t. It's just easier to pick one capitalization rule and stick with it. All right, so next I need to review the image alt text attributes and modify them for the SEO. So for these down here, it's going to be easy. I'm just going to put Facebook logo, and then I'm going to say Twitter logo. Now for the website plan, you see that the alt tag just now says website. For this, I want this to actually be descriptive of what is happening in that image. So I'm going to write exactly what's in there. So we see we got a man writing on a whiteboard with a website plan. And then I'm going to write the descriptive words in there. That includes the words idea, project, design, programming, content. So not only is this for SEO, but this is also something for accessibility. So if for some reason this image doesn't load, it still tells my users what is going on in that image. But also on the other aspect is for screen readers. So they will be able to read the alt tag and tell those that need to use that assistive technology what is happening in that as well. So we'll place this in here. So in here, I've got a man writing website project steps. It includes the words ideal project design, programming, content testing, SEO management, and success. I do have a little problem here, so I'll take care of one of those. Remove one of the quotations. So now I need to link each social media icon to its respective social media page. So before I do this, we're going to go down into our footer. And so we're just going to create links. Now with this though, we want to make sure our links open up to a new tab. Okay, so what I was going to do is I was going to sign out of my social media, and but I didn't copy the link. So we'll start with our anchor tags in this. We put our link to where it's going to. We set our target set to blank. Okay, so this is going to open up that into a new window. So I'm going to click here and run the checks. I'm going to refresh my page. Facebook's going to open me up to Facebook. And the Twitter is going to open me up to my Twitter page. Also down here in the student name, you can add your name here. Once you get to this part, this is all that's been grading on this. We still can use some more improvement on this. So we're going to go over to our style CSS. And we're going to go down into our footer area because we're going to add a little bit more padding, a little bit more space between those social media images. So in here, we're going to put a footer image tag selector. And we're going to set the padding at 3%. So when we refresh this, we'll see that we do have some space been added to the footer area for the images. This is what your web page should look like once you're finished. So after you're done, you're to look at different keywords, go out and research keywords and author meta tags. Find out if these are something that are commonly used. Do your research, go back to Blackboard, write your 100-word post on your findings. That, once again, is due by Thursday. Then be sure to read other postings and respond back to the 2 other posts with at least 50 words each by Sunday.